Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Joel Powers. I'm the Dean of School of Design Strategies at Parsons, and I've been asked to moderate this discussion, which is a deeply unenviable position. So I ask your forbearance and your participation and your help in doing that. Apparently, I have the capacity to shut down something that is inappropriate, which is why I've been asked to moderate. I'm not sure I actually have that capacity. I will do my best to keep this conversation moving and open and civil, which is the most important ground rule for the evening. The meeting has been called by the University Student Senate, the University Faculty Senate, the Provost's Office, and the Dean's Council. It is open to the new school. It is not open to outside press. It's very clear that emotions are running hot, and that the events of the past few days, beginning with the occupation of 65 Fifth Avenue early on the morning of Friday the 10th, and the nature and the scale of the police response to it are still raw for many of us, for all of us, I would say. And so tonight is not intended to resolve that. Tonight is not intended, and we will not be taking resolutions this evening. It's not a trial. It's not a vehicle to rush to judgment. What it is, and what the organizers have hoped that it would be, is an opportunity to share information, to establish, or to try to establish what took place, how and why, fact find. Essentially, this is the beginning. It's the first meeting, not the last meeting around this issue. There will be several, as it will be a rather difficult task to do what I've just suggested we have to do. It will be difficult because there won't be one story that will come out. I think we all know that. There will be several, at least several narratives that will emerge. And so the goal is to listen and to generate questions, the kinds of very difficult questions that we know need to be answered in order to come to understand the events of the past few days. So I've been asked to moderate. The way we will run this evening is in the following fashion. The organizers, those who called the event, will make brief statements first, beginning with Tim Marshall, the Provost, followed by Michael Schober, Dean of NSSR, who will be speaking for the Dean's Council, David Howell, co-chair of the University Faculty Senate, and Ian Cummings, chair of University Student Senate. After that, the group has asked for a few individuals to speak who have a particular focus, or particular relevance to what has happened directly. It is not intended that these individuals have any more authority or position in relationship to these events than anybody else. It's simply a way of beginning the discussion and begin the generation of the questions that we need to gather. And so what I will do is turn it over to the group in front of us here in that order, and then we will call afterwards on Roy Moskowitz, E.T. Das, and Pat Corte to speak. But first, Tim Marshall, Provost.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel, and thank you to everyone for coming out at such short notice. And I apologize for the short notice, but just to echo what Joel said, we'll continue this over the next couple of weeks in various formats, not probably this large, but to give a range of people across the institution the opportunity to actually hear and speak their minds and hear other people's views, and for me to be able to get advice and consultation from you all as we move forward in this obviously difficult times. It is without question a sad moment in the history of New School. It's troubling and provokes anxiety and fear and concern in us all, no matter I think which perspective we have on this on the matter. But I think we also have to remember that that this is an incredible institution. that we are, I think all of us, immensely proud of this institution, what it stands for, its history, its legacy, what it is now and all it stands for, people engaged in the future. So my commitment as the university's Chief Academic Officer and the Provost is to support the work of students and faculty and to ensure a high-quality educational experience. Several aspects of last Friday do make that confrontation very difficult for me to move forward with the work that I've been charged with. I am basically 3 weeks into this position, and I'm immensely, it's a very challenging position, and I'm hopeful and optimistic, and I remain so, but it's certainly got a lot more complicated than even I was anticipating sort of moving into it. But I do want to just dwell for a moment on some of the things that we've achieved over this very short period of time, since the original votes of no confidence and the processes and what's even happened in the last 3 weeks since I've assumed the interim provost position. The search for the interim provost position itself was a far more inclusive one than has previously been the case. Students were heavily involved, faculty, administrators, trustees. We used that process again to replace me in the past in school, very much using the same process. One of the biggest issues I know that underlies so many of the concerns that students and faculty have with the institution at the moment is sort of comes one way or another down to space and resource planning. And one of the major, so we are establishing a university-wide committee with membership from faculty and students and the administration to look at the whole campus as in terms of forward planning over many years. We are getting, over the summer we'll be asking architecture students and faculty to build a three-dimensional interactive map of the whole campus such that we can start to build and plan far better than we can now to optimize the space we have, to plan better, to design better for the facilities that I know the students are rightly anxious to improve. Libraries, reading spaces and studios and such forth. We have in the very beginnings of the planning process of actually establishing a design team and focus which will be ongoing, combining faculty and students and other people on a shortlist for a Design Excellence Award which actually looks at how to improve the spaces right across the whole university to address those concerns. The responsible investment initiative has been formed, the committee has been formed with students and faculty on that. Not always exactly as everyone was hoping, but it's been established, and I think it's been established with the goodwill of the institution. We are in the middle of a set of very detailed meetings between deans, some of the associate deans that's responsible for budgets, and with the budget office toward one of the key goals of the minimum requirements document, which was greater budgetary transparency. We've had one meeting, we're expecting to have 2 or 3 more, so that the understanding of how the budget is assembled and how it operates as a step one towards establishing more transparent and academically sound budget rules for the running of the institution can be established. We are establishing a senior group of faculty to address the shortcomings in the faculty handbook that I know concern many of the faculty. We'll be doing that over the summer. The Provost Office is just in the beginning phases of thinking about developing a structure for the Provost Office to better take account of academic planning, curricular support, faculty and student affairs, student advocacy, and so on. We're establishing a task force to conduct research and recommend new governance structures to the university. And the President has agreed to phase 2 that was outlined in the minimum requirements document, which is also to review the administrative and service functions of the institution and how to optimize them for the needs of students and faculty. So I think you could appreciate that 3 weeks in, I'm feeling that there's a lot happening. We're moving in the right direction. There's a lot to be done. We're right at the very beginning of this process. I think we are moving in the right direction. We're trying to include more students in various ways. I've spent a huge amount of my time in the first 3 weeks listening to students. I'm extremely empathetic to many of the concerns of the students, and I'm working as hard as I can to think of both immediate ways to rectify some of your immediate problems and also to address how to address the more systemic issues that you have raised, and I think many of them are valid.